Will you sulk or will you serve? Will you fight against the Lord's plan or will you surrender to the Lord's plan? The Lord's presence and the Lord's favor was on Joseph's life, and Potiphar could see that. The prison guard could see that, and Pharaoh could see that. I believe it's no mistake that Joseph was taken from his father and put into Egypt for purposes of bringing the nation of Israel to Egypt. And God used Joseph. That was such a trial for Joseph, but yet he remained trusting in the Lord. He looked to the Lord. He gave honor to the Lord when he was able to give interpretations of the baker and the butler and then Pharaoh's dreams. He said, it's the Lord that gives me this interpretation. It's the Lord that gives this interpretation. And I love how Joseph honored God in every part and everything that he did, and that whether it be the prison guard, whether it be Potiphar, whether it be Pharaoh, that they all saw God's hand upon Joseph's life. Joseph could have had a different attitude about the entire situation. He could have sulked. He could have been depressed and not wanted to do anything. He could have been arrogant and said, listen, one day I'm going to rule. But instead, he honored the Lord. And so my question for myself and to Christians that are watching this is, are we honoring God with the position that we're in? I don't care if you're at the top, tippity top of wherever you want to be, or you're just starting out and you're at the bottom and you feel like a bottom dweller. Are you going to honor God? Are people going to see the Lord in you and he is working in you? God ordained those situations and those things to happen to him to put him in that place with Pharaoh so that he could go ahead of his father and his brothers and his people, and that they could come and they could have a place of refuge. They could have a place of rest. They could have a place where God hemmed them in for a certain amount of time until they were ready to take over the promised land. And that those years weren't easy. And that's hard to grapple our minds around, that God would allow us to go through hard times and trials and struggles. But he does, right? James says this. James says, count it all joy when you go through trials and struggles. Let it cause you to grow, to persevere, to shine the light of Christ. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, do your work heartily as for the Lord rather than men.